Howdy folks, Meandering Mike here in the Man Cave of Madness. It's after midnight and this is a special boxing unboxing. What do I mean by that? Well, this is a package I received from a game company in France. It says, important documents do not fold. All right, it's a flat. And believe it or not, this thin package, which was about an inch thick when the stuff was in there, contains a game. Now, it's not a Ziploc game. It's actually a boxed game. And that's why it's a boxing. All right, let me explain. Here we go. The game, which is the Battle of Torgau. This is from AdHoc Games, a game company in France. The box, you have to put together yourself. This is a do-it-yourself box with instructions. So we are going to do a boxing where you're going to put together the actual box, and you'll see that it actually works relatively well. As you can see over here, you zoom over there, there's their other title, The Battle of Minden, which I boxed earlier in the week and put together. So I'm going to show you how this is done, because it's kind of cool. And the box is not like ultra sturdy, but it's a lot sturdier than you'd think. Now, here's all the goodies. So this is documents. Is it really? It's a game. Well, you got rule books, multiple rule books. This is a series game. So between Minden and Torgau here, they're part of their 7 Years' War system. Battle of the 7 Years' War, Torgau and Minden. So you have a system rulebook. That's, common for a lot of games out there that are in a series. You've got a system rulebook. Now, this happens to have it in two. There's a detailed sequence of play and the introduction. So these two rulebooks together make up the rules for this system. Now, this has nice 2-column layout. It's kind of glossy, you can see there. So some of you love glossy stuff. I like it a little less glossy. I prefer matte, but this is nice quality paper. There's enough, gutter and margin. So even though this comes right within this box, it's readable in that there's gutter space, there's enough margins. And this is like on an A4 paper for those of you who are familiar with the European size. It's not like 8.5 by 11. It's more like 8 by 11.5, roughly, I think. So it's a little taller, a little narrower than in the US. We're used to 8.5 by 11 size. Okay, we'll probably look at a little more later. This is a separate index, separate sheet, and I believe the index is on the back of, was it on the inside of this? Or maybe it's just, no, I guess it's just on its own. All right. So it'll tell you where to go find good stuff here. All right. Now, there's actually two detailed sequences of play, so that each player can have one. All right. The index is on the inside cover. There, that's what. So it's almost more like a table of contents. Index is usually at the back, but you also have a separate sheet too. All right. So as you can see, they're identical here. Polhurst, Porta Westfalica. All right. So you have two copies. Now here is the playbook. Okay. There are two of these also. This is for Torgau. And you got the Austrian and the Russian one. So they've got your special rules for your side, your history about the Battle of Torgau, the different scenarios, Prussians versus Austrians. Scenario 2, Leithen versus Lacey at noon, complete with maps, setup information. Scenario 3, Frederic II versus Dawn at noon, Dawn, D-A-U-N, not D-A-W-N. So a lot of scenarios. Prussian order of battle. Oh, look at that. Very nicely laid out there. And of course, we would assume that we'd have the equivalent here for the Austrians. Yes. In the back there. And their information. The maps now, let's see here. Let's look at that scenario 3. So you can see that we're getting different information here because it is looking at it from a different direction. So here is Suptitz here looking out this way, and on this one, Suptitz is here looking at this way. So you could turn this over and compare. But one of the guys must be, set up in a position of the guy's entering or something. So you get the appropriate information for your side, based on what you would know. So that looks very fascinating to me. Very fascinating. All right. So 2. Now, this may make it difficult if you're playing solitaire, right? If you're having to go back between 2 books, and okay, you're learning the first time, you've got the introduction of the rule system, you got the detailed sequence of play. Now, obviously, you wouldn't need to have 2 detailed sequences of play when you're playing solitaire, but you would still need to have both of these books potentially. And so, yeah, some people could consider that might be a little bit of a churn, all these different books having to deal with. But to me, that's just a benefit, right? The fact that it's a series game. So you've got the sequence of play. You got this. Once you've learned this, that's leveraging. And so if they do more games in the future, that's going to be great. All right. And then, this might be the only little bit there is that if you're playing solitaire, if you're having to look at information and browsing, most of the stuff here, once you've set up, you're probably good to go. You might have to look at maybe, I've got, victory conditions rules or some, special rules for the scenario that you might have to have these handy, right? And so solitaire, that might be a little more overhead on your table space or whatnot. But these just look fantastic, wonderful art, period paintings. Here's more illustrations. This looks like it's drawn, illustrated, with either that's inks, or it could be either some kind of colored pencil on the top of inked lines. Some are definitely from paintings. Yeah, this is definitely like oil. Just, wonderful, wonderful stuff. All right, so are we done there? No, we've got many charts and tables. The Austrian train effects chart. Austrian unit data. The unit number, the strengths, effectiveness, brigade, formed, shaken, panic. Now, these are a little small for my tastes. This is all together there. It's in one place. It's very simple information, though. So, and it's kind of bold, is font. It's very readable. It's a little small for my taste, but it works. This works. Definitely I'd prefer bigger, but this is totally functional. You know, I've complained about some games recently, and I stick by it. There's sometimes, if you don't have old eyes, if you don't have any vision problems, you know, you're fine. But I'll tell you, things like the font size, the style of font, whether it's serif, non-serif, it can make a big difference for one's ability to play a game without eye strain or that. So I'm appreciative of this. So, like, you know, we have a little bit of a stylized font across the top, but just for the title, and it's actually very readable for me. This is fine. It's sort of done with like a drop shadow effect, little 3D-ness. Maybe that's a tiny bit fancier than I like, but it's very functional still. I know, you know what that is. I can read that. And again, some of these are a little small, but they're sort of like a bold or a semi-bold. And, you know, when it comes down to it, the numbers that you need to see here. So over time, using something like this, you're going to know, oh, cavalry in line here's here. You're going to end up learning which column you care about. And, you know, but it's readable. This is readable to me. All right. Austrian firepower tables. Now, it'd be interesting to see if, like, you know, the Prussian train effects chart, is there actually anything different on here? Are certain nationalities affected differently by train? And I'm gonna doubt that. I'm not seeing any differences here, but you know, it's your own card with where you've got your thing. So if these were just generic on one side, someone might grab the wrong card, and I'm looking for, you know, my unit data, but you can tell. And these are actually color coded too. Brown, blue, the brown. So they've put some thought into the functionality in that. So I mean, it's aesthetic, it looks nice, but it's also functional. So all right, the firepower tables. Now this totally has different information here. Firing artillery, different size gun. The 24 pounders, they're 12 pounders, 7.63s. Whereas the Prussians, they don't have any 24 pounders. They've got 12s. They got Brummer Prussian guns and a non-Brummer, this is our standard. They got 12-pounder Leicht Dessau guns and 7.6 and two different guns, no, 3s. So you've got different things with different ranges and the number of guns and various different effects here on the chart. Now, what's interesting here is there's dots and numbers, so don't know what that means yet. And I don't see on here an explanation of what like 3 dots, 4 dots means. So that's something that we'll have to find out in the rules. It would be nice if they could have fit a key on here, what those mean. Okay. That would have been nice. Combat strength of unit plus effectiveness rating of unit. Firing infantry. And you can see there's a difference here. This is okay, so actual differences for the two different sides for this. So my only little complaint so far, though, is there's no key right here. So we'll have to find out what that is, the dots and these numbers here. What did those mean? All right. Charge opponent's ratio table. Okay, and there's commas instead of like a decimal point. So it's like half, 1, 1.5. So again, European decimal point being a comma versus what we're used to in the US with the period being the decimal point and a comma being the place separators for every 3 places. All right, a ratio number here, attackers combat strength 3 units, maximum of which one unit in front. So this is another thing. What does this mean? So this is something like, make this graphic smaller and have some key here to explain what this is. That would be an ask for me. Charge result table. So here they have a key to this one. See, they did the right thing here. That's the charge result. That's the charge opponent's ratio table. So, interesting. Rules reminders. So this is nice to have a little certain reminders, hints, often forgot rules there. It's two-sided road march movement. All right. Now, so all that stuff, see, these are all documents, right? When they say, you got documents, those are documents. Rules, charts, tables. A map is a document, right? Who would not say a map? Now, in the U.S., if you ship anything media mail, media, which, is supposed to include books, but our strange rules, like that doesn't include magazines, that doesn't include maps. You're not supposed to send maps via media mail. It's actually supposed to be books, DVDs, and CDs is what we're supposed to be able to send media. This is French document class. This is a document envelope, and this is a document. These are all documents. All right. Oh, these are more documents. This is a pictorial layout of a order of battle information. Look at that. Isn't that nice? That's one-sided because you'd have this out. I guess you're probably putting units on here that are going to get placed on the board, or maybe you put some kind of hit markers or order markers or something on this. Very nice. These are documents, right? Documents. These look like minor allies or something for the various dude. Liechtenstein, Goschnitz, Brentano, Renaud, Butler. Well, these are people, but so Liechtenstein, that's probably a name. That's not a name. That's not a place. That's a name. That's a name. Zuna, Zaldren, Krakow, Grumkov, Tettenborn. All right. Now, you know what else is a document? The counter sheets. Well, this is a tabular representation of data. It's kind of like a spreadsheet, right? You've got information here in a set of cells, in a grid. It is a document. Now, we use these things here. We are going to remove them from their current stored tabular nature, but we're going to use these pieces of data to track it and say we got baggies for stuff. But technically, this is a document. This is tabular data. Yeah, I'm totally fine. I'm assuming they've vetted this with the French government, and these are a form of data. They're information. They happen to be thicker documents that have, you have perforated forms and things like that you can tear out. So die-cut counter sheets with data on them. I'm going to say these are documents. Ooh, look at this. These are like double and triple wide side formations. Look at this. I like this. Now, so these must have these are like unit ID numbers from the bigger things we saw here on the side. And you're maneuvering these across multiple hexes. I suppose you could break that up into the component pieces, possibly as skirmishers, or if a unit breaks or something, they might scatter. Now, some of these look a little small here. I'm going to zoom in a bit. Does it have good light there? Does that focus okay? More. It's just a number, though. It's still just a number. These aren't unit strengths. So these are very period. Look at, let's see, can you see there what I'm putting here? There's a 12-pounder. He's like a dude standing next to the gun. Very interesting. So that's going to take a little getting used to. Oh, these are just ready to fall out. these documents here. They're just ready to come out. I'm going to zoom back a little bit. So I'm not sure about this yet, how I feel about this. This is interesting. This is definitely interesting. Something, again, I'll get used to it. It's like, I've never seen counters quite like this. But wow, is that so period? The aesthetic of it, the look and feel of these guys. I'm just feeling like I'm there in 1760, man. So a lot of counter sheets, a lot of data here, a lot of documents in this tabular data spreadsheet kind of document data. These are documents, man. Now, as promised, we're getting to the boxing part. Well, I want to open the map first. Map. Oh, wow. So a bunch of counters fell out here. Can you see those there? These guys, they're pretty nice and thick. No nibs at all. That's why they're wanting to fall out. There's no nibs. These things are so crisp. They're thick, but they're light. Now they're little glossy for my taste in terms of this. I can assume there's probably not a lot of stacking in this game. What's on the back? A P. Not sure what the P on the back says. That's for panicked. Does that? Don't know. Okay, let me set those aside so I don't lose them. All right. So, the name, Torgau, that's this game. So here's this big fortress town here. There's the Elbe River. Got other little forts on here. Now, if you look at this, this drawing, so it's a little fuzzy here at this scale. Okay, it looks like it's been blown up, right? Or they took an old style picture or map. Now, looking at it through the camera, it doesn't look as bad, but like, let's see if we can see this, a little bit of fuzziness here. Now, like, this font is very nice and tight and crisp. But here you can see, it looks like it's been drawn with watercolors, some kind of ink of a style that you're getting close. It looks a little fuzzier, but I'm gonna zoom back out. Yeah, look, that looks gorgeous. See, at that distance, it just looks really, oh wow, look at that compass rose, wow. Each hour going around. So it's a 12-hour clock. Now this is kind of thin. It's glossy-ish paper, but it's feeling a little thin. So I would like this thicker. I have to zoom back more. Big forest down there. There's soup tits that we saw. You probably can't see that. There it is, right there. So this big hill, you can see like little redoubts there. This looks pretty fascinating. Oh, big wooded hill here, and then some kind of barricades. All right, this map, definitely, it's gorgeous. When you look at it, it is. If you're looking up really close, any given part of it can look a little fuzzy, but that gives it very period feel. Very period feel. So this is very interesting. Definitely would have liked this a little sturdier paper. But that's document is as it is. Now, the final... So, because this is flat, it's not a box. Well, here's the document telling us how to form the box. And the lid and the bottom of the box have information on them. They're flat, i.e. foldable. All right. So at this stage, it's a document that you're going to turn into a document storage container. So it's actually pretty simple. There's the instructions, but okay. So like when you buy, you go to a department store and you buy some clothing, right? And you like a shirt and you put it in a gift box. You know, you've probably seen those. Now this is definitely sturdier than that. This is thicker material. It's glossy. But you basically fold these in at the edges, and see it's sort of perforated here, but you're not ripping it. That's scored, perforated so that it'll bend in easy. And then what you got to do here is these corners need to bend in, so they're going inside and over the top. All right, I'm making it look harder than it is. It was very easy. All right. You're bending in. No, underneath. Why is that not wanting to do the thing right? There we go. Under there. Okay. And what it says is this long edge, you just flick that over. So I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that in the light? Is it too here? I'll fold this up and over. And so it's sort of holding in place, a slight overlap now. And there you have the bottom of the box, or should we call this the document cradle? All right, and so the same thing here. Okay, you got to fold in the corners. The other ones, the corners folded in easier. Not sure why. There we go. There we go. Okay, so tuck it in the corners. There. All right. So same thing, you just tuck this long edge under, and they're like, what do you call it, sort of quarter moon scalloped, and there we go. We have now our box. Our document storage, from documents into document storage. So you put that on the bottom. You won't need this again, but I'll keep it for now in case you want to. I wouldn't ever unfold this, right? I'm going to put the counters, the tabular perforated documents. And let me not lose these here. Obviously, I'll be putting those into the Ziplocs. And if you've punched this all out, you should be able to fit a counter tray in here. Getting the right size, maybe. You might have one that goes this way. You could maybe do this way. I don't know. We'll have to see. We've got all these great orders of battle. You've got all these charts, the rules reminders. You've got your series rules, your detailed things, like 2 copies, so each player can have one. These gorgeous playbooks, all these different scenarios to set up from your perspective for each side, including, rotating the map so you're seeing it from the direction, or if you were sitting on that side. That's just amazingly gorgeous, right? All right, and then I'm going to put this map here on the top. Presto. We now have a boxed copy of the Battle of Torgau from AdHoc-Editions. I believe these are the only 2 titles that they have: the Battle of Minden and the Battle of Torgau. But it looks really cool, really slick. And so this is heavy. This is quite heavy. But they were able to ship it as a document, as a flat. Came relatively quickly. I want to say under a week from France. May have been a little more than that. May have been 7 or 8 days, but I thought it was like about 6. And the shipping was built into the price. I'm trying to remember how much. Might have been $70, might have been 60, somewhere in there. And I think I got like $10 off by buying them both, or some kind of bundle or something like that. But for shipping included, for something that's this heavy, and this box, it's not GMT thick, super duper quality, but this feels, relatively sturdy to me. This feels good. I mean, obviously, if you dropped it on its corner a bunch of times, it's gonna probably dent more. But these won't split in the way that those other boxes do. This might come apart instead of rip. I mean, I suppose you could purposely rip it, right? But yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Great. Hey, let's zoom in a little more here. Tilt that up. Very, very nice aesthetic map. Again, if you're looking close, it says, that looks a little weird, it looked a little fuzzy. But, from when you're going to be playing at the table, moving pieces around, it's going to look great. Suppose if you're leaning over and looking really close in one little spot, you might look and feel the fuzziness of some of the inks, but to me it looks great. So I'm going to call it quits there. It's a bit longer. I'm trying to shoot for 20 to 30 minute unboxings. But since this one was a little special, given that we were boxing, this was unpacking the documents to make the box from document pack to boxed game. We bring you the 7 Years War system from AdHoc-Editions, Battle of Torgau, and then also over there the Battle of Minden. I'm not going to open that up at this point. I'll probably do a look at it later when I'm actually ready to try to play these. So, Meandering Mike, Man Cave of Madness, bringing you some cool stuff that you've probably not seen before. So if you're into the 7 Years War, this might be the system for you. Definitely look to be some interesting things going on there with those counters. Going to have to figure out how that combat system works. I'm not doing that deeper dive here. Some of my unboxings are going to be more exploratory, and I'm going to start putting that in the title. I think, unboxing and exploration or something like that, where I did look at some of those charts and things in a little more detail, but not try to figure them out and understanding and go to that level of detail. We're going from 30, 40 minutes an hour, over an hour stuff. Some of you want that really detailed stuff, and I'll do that sometimes. But many people have different opinions on what they want to see in unboxing, or do they want to see unboxings at all? And obviously, if you don't want to see unboxings, you're not going to watch them. Some people want to see unboxings. They want to see multiple unboxings before they make a decision on what to get. And so I'm sort of torn between, I mean, obviously, you know, I don't want to waste your time. And some people don't want to spend that much time, and obviously they won't watch it, but I don't know. If I had more time to edit these, I would do the long version, then edit down a quick 15-minute version unboxing that would be, you know, indexed in the video that says, here is, you know, the basic unboxing, blah, 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 blah. And now we will go into detail, and I could make that in as one video. But, you know, if you're into for the short thing, you could watch the 10, 15-minute unboxing, and then from there you could keep going if you want the in-depth exploration. We'll see. It's a lot of work doing that kind of editing and stuff. So anyway, Meandering Mike, Man Cave of Madness. Take care, everyone. And Independence Day, American July 4th, coming up for those. So I'm going to be getting, July, I'm going to be getting a Gettysburg game to the table soon. So that'll be next up play-wise. I also have to finish up. I've got some stuff in the can. I got to finish editing my how to play playthrough of Rangers of Point du Hoc Crowbar, which is mostly finished. So all you good folks out there, take care. Remember to take care of your games and take care of your documents, because they will take care of you. Ciao.